the physical aspect, an example of the healthy work that communities do to enhance wellness.
Alberta Health Services approached our community and, as part of Indigenous health as well. And it was to have our people become more aware of cancer, the different types of cancer, but it was about prevention.
At first, our community was kind of like, okay, what are you guys doing? Like, what is this about? Like, they're kind of weary, like, because it's new to our community, right? And we're a very close community, like a small community. So we had to, like, give information and talk to them and say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what this project is. And this is what we want to do. And they're very welcoming. They're like, our events were all well attended and the information was well received. Like, this project has been amazing for this community. Like, it's just opened a bunch of doors and knowledge and learning.
The project to bring out awareness in screening and to teach them what cancer prevention is all about, what kinds of cancers there are, when they should be getting screened, how to go about getting screened, where they can find the help that they need.
I had some understanding of the connection between the UV protection and skin cancer, not anything in depth, but we did get some education going through the program and going to all the activities and all that good stuff. So it really encouraged us to step up our game, I guess you could say.
Cancer is very prevalent, various forms of cancer in all communities. And it's one of those things that a lot of people want to talk about. But there's also a lot of misinformation, and there's a lot of things that people don't know.
Well, at first everyone's like, well, what is it? They're like, we all know what cancer is. And I'm like, but do we really know? Like, do we really understand what it really is? Like, cancer isn't just cancer. There's different forms of it. There's different stages of it. And there's ways to prevent it. And then once we started offering the resources and information, they're kind of like, hey, this is neat. Like, we didn't know this.
The biggest thing is it's community-led, and they as a community decide how it's going to change. You bring community members together to talk about what has worked in the community previously, what does work, what doesn't work. You do the readiness surveys, the community supportive surveys, and they look at them and see the results and they're like, oh, the community wants you to focus on alcohol or UV.
We were able to approach the community, which was very interesting because we actually asked the community what the community wanted out of this program.
In the beginning, it was very little education. People were wondering what was happening. But as we kept going on, we started bringing things. The girls did an awesome job putting activities together, and people started looking at things. We started talking about different ways of eating, different exercises they do. They went out and they made a nature walk and stuff like that to get people out.
When we first got it rolling, that was a big part, is to have meetings with the community, a wide variety of the community, from our youth to our adults to our elders, everybody, and ask them what their thoughts about thoughts on cancer were about, what their top interests would be.
We have Walking Wednesdays here for our seniors during the wintertime so they can stay warm in the hall. It's indoors. We have our gym. We all try to encourage each other to stay active during the winter, do things together. In the summertime, our elders, women especially, are amazing with teaching our youth how to can and all of our produce and stuff like that. So for the most part, when it comes to wellness in the community, I think we all work really well as a team to teach our younger generation.
They did also healthy cooking. So now a lot of members in the community are learning how to do that, how to cook healthy foods.
And then of course the healthy eating and stuff and that, trying to get people to eat more healthier, natural stuff and that. And that's where we're going with the sustainability of the program is we're going into the gardening and stuff and vegetables, having people grow their own food, and we did trees, fruit trees and stuff like that, so people are going to have their own fruit trees to grow and stuff and that. So that's what we're looking at in those areas.
From the program, we gave our little gym that our community can access. We actually bought a treadmill for the gym. And then what they also did is they plotted out a path, a walking path, which starts at the right at town site, and then it goes down towards the lake, towards the Frog Lake, and back up again.
It was always kind of integrated into my life, like living. Like we eat a lot of moose. My sister more so than myself. She has more time apparently, or she's a better hunter, one of the two. But other than that, yeah, berries every year. Like that's always been a big part of my life personally. I'm actually growing pretty much what I'm telling people. I'm gonna try to grow an orchard up on my land, just for anyone to come pick if they want apples or cherries or whatever I can possibly grow. What we eat is how, you know, it's affecting our health. It has a lot to do, in my opinion, with all these cancers we're getting.
For our community, our main priorities were physical activity, cancer screening, and healthy eating. So our main focus was healthy eating because we are an hour away from the local grocery store, price of food and stuff. So healthy eating was a big portion of it. I actually ran a program the last 2 years doing a collective kitchen program. So we based it on healthy living, and we actually did all the grocery shopping for 25 families every month. We had new healthy recipes. We got people to try things that they never would have thought or even would have wanted to buy, and how to prepare them and keep that motivation going for people to change their diets.
Yeah, my mom always had a massive garden and stuff and things like that. So there always was gardens around and stuff, and then people got away from it. So trying to convince them, when I told them I was going to be doing gardening, I had 51 families contact me.
Every year we used to go fishing, put a net in Lac La Biche, and net about 100 and some fish, and come back and fill it and clean, and go around and give 2/3 of it away, to the needy people, to the older people that could no longer fish.
I'd love to go back to our roots, because we are losing our culture. A lot of our kids don't know our culture. Even me as an adult, there's a lot of things I'd love to go back and learn. And when you do your own gardens, you do your own hunting, you do your own chickens, you do a lot of fishing. That's culture.
In any community, you'll have barriers that you have to cross, but it seems like if you have an incentive like that benefits them, like we had offered gardening kits, like sunshades and stuff, they're more enticed to continue, and then you're giving them that tool that they need, like the sunshade, whether it's the seeds for gardening.
Yeah, just trying to get the message out there on healthy eating and the importance of physical activity. So every Wednesday, people would come in, sign in, do the walk. That way we kept track of who came, and then we drew a name at the end of the night to see who won the $50. So that worked.
And a lot of different other little gift cards and that were given out. So it was a good motivation for people, but at the same time they learned. And it was always full. Every time she held that, there was a list of people. If someone backed out, they'd be next. There's a waiting list. So very, very successful.
So people were losing weight, all happy, getting started. And at the end of the event, there was a big dinner, and we drew one name out of all the people that came out every Wednesday combined, threw them in the draw, and we gave away a treadmill. So just trying to get people out, so that was where most of the challenge lied, was to get the community out to support or to learn. So my lead and I would brainstorm and think about things that worked previously. Typically what works well in the community is to have a meal, give them some incentive to come out, maybe some door prizes.
I think the program was very well received, and I think what made it successful was also that we teamed up with other programs.
That had to have been my favorite part of this project, was gathering with all the settlements and hearing their ideas and being like, wow. And then integrating them into our community, because there are only 8 Métis settlements in the world. We are unique. We are unique communities, and just being able to work with them and gain that knowledge is a benefit to me, myself, and my community.
I've noticed a lot of people reaching out to us to when they should be getting screened, where they can go get screened, and just overall like asking about cancer screening.
We're hitting like every age group, which is amazing, like different sectors of work. Like it's just been a great learning opportunity, like for everybody all around. And even with the healthy eating, like teaching them how to like smoke meat and the rabbits and the canning and stuff, it's just getting back to our roots, and more people are doing it. Like with the gardening, we're going to be doing gardening and offering gardening classes. It's just making a healthier way of eating, living in our community, which was much needed.